The CEO who knew my worst secrets. Chapter 1. The Summer That Promised Forever. The summer Ethan Vale taught Ava Lynn how to lie. It rained every afternoon. Not soft rain, not gentle. The kind that hit rooftops like it had something to prove. "You blink when you lie," Ethan said, crouched across from her in their makeshift hideout, a crooked wooden structure they had built between two trees. "I do not." "You just did it again." Ava narrowed her eyes. "You're annoying. And you're predictable." She lunged at him. They crashed into the floor, laughing, the scent of damp wood and rain wrapping around them like something permanent. They were 10. And at 10, everything felt like forever. "You're going to stay here, right?" she asked suddenly. Ethan didn't answer immediately. That was the first sign. The second was the way his smile didn't reach his eyes. "I might move." The world tilted. "No. It's not up to me." "I don't care," she snapped, standing. "Just say no." He looked at her then, really looked. Like he was trying to memorize her. "You'll be fine." "I don't want to be fine," she said, voice shaking. "I want you to stay." Silence stretched between them. Heavy, unfamiliar, and terrifying. So she did what she always did when she was scared. She turned it into something smaller. Something easier. "Fine," she said, crossing her arms. "Then we'll just get married." Ethan blinked. "What?" "When we're older, if we're still single." He didn't laugh. Didn't tease her. Didn't call her ridiculous. He just nodded once. "Okay." That should have comforted her. Instead, it felt like a goodbye. Chapter 2. The Man Who Came Back Different. 10 years later, Ava was still late. Some things didn't change. Others changed too much. "First day," she muttered, adjusting her bag as she rushed into the towering glass building. "Please don't let me get fired immediately." The lobby gleamed, marble floors, quiet voices, expensive air. The kind of place where people didn't trip over their own shoes. She tripped anyway. "Great start," she whispered. By the time she reached the conference room, she was breathless. "Sorry, And then she stopped. Because at the head of the table sat a man she knew. And didn't. Ethan Vale. His name echoed in her mind before anyone said it. He looked wrong. Not physically. No, physically he was unfairly perfect. Sharp jaw, controlled expression, dark eyes that seemed to calculate everything. But the warmth, the chaos, the boy she knew. Gone. Replaced by something colder. More dangerous. He didn't smile. Didn't react. Just looked at her. Late. One word. Flat. Precise. Like a verdict. Ava forced herself to move. Traffic. You live 15 minutes away. Emotionally, I hit traffic. A pause. Someone coughed. And for the briefest second, Ethan's mouth twitched. Then it was gone. Like it had never existed. "Sit down," he said. And just like that, she wasn't a memory anymore. She was an employee. Chapter 3. Familiar Strangers. Ava lasted exactly 3 hours before she wanted to quit. Not because the job was hard, but because Ethan Vale was impossible. Redo this. It's already done. It's not correct. It meets the requirements. It doesn't meet mine. She stared at him. "You've changed." The words slipped out. Unplanned. Unfiltered. His pen paused. Just for a second. People do. Not like this. Not into someone who feels like a stranger wearing a familiar face. "You don't remember me?" she asked before she could stop herself. That got his attention. His eyes lifted slowly. Locked onto hers. "I remember everything." Her breath caught. That wasn't the answer she expected. Then why are you acting like? Like what? Like I'm just another employee. Silence. Then, because you are. The words landed clean. Too clean. Like they were rehearsed. Like he needed them to be true. Ava swallowed. Right. Of course. That made sense. It had been 10 years. People moved on. People forgot. Even if they said they didn't. Chapter 4, the deal that changes everything. It started with a call. Stay after work. Ava stared at her phone. No greeting. No explanation. Just a command. Of course, she muttered, because why not make my life worse? By the time she stepped into his office, the building was nearly empty. The city lights outside painted everything in gold and shadow. Ethan stood by the window, sleeves rolled up slightly, tie loosened just enough to suggest he was human. Barely. You wanted to see me. He turned. And for a moment, something shifted. Not the CEO. Not the stranger. Him. Then it disappeared. I need your help. Suspicion immediately flared. That sounds like a bad idea. It's a professional request. Those are usually worse. A pause. Then, I need a girlfriend. Ava blinked. No, you don't. Yes, I do. No, you definitely don't. It's temporary. Still no. I'll triple your salary. I'm listening. He didn't smile, but his eyes softened just slightly. It's for public appearances, investors, events. It needs to look real. And you chose me because I trust you. Because you're the only one who knows me. Because I never stopped. You're convenient. The word hit harder than it should have. Ava crossed her arms. Fine, but I have conditions. Of course you do. No unnecessary touching. His eyebrow lifted. No personal boundaries crossed. Define boundaries. No emotional manipulation. That one made him pause. Then, agreed. She narrowed her eyes. You agreed too easily. I always do. That's not reassuring. It's not meant to be. Their gazes locked. Tension stretched. Familiar. Dangerous. Unfinished. Careful, Ava, he said quietly. Her pulse skipped. You've never been good at winning against me. She stepped closer. Maybe I just never tried properly. And just like that, the game began. Chapter 5, the performance begins. The first rule of fake dating was simple. Make it believable. The second rule. Don't believe it yourself. Ava broke the second rule within 20 minutes. The gala was everything she hated. Glittering lights, expensive perfume, people who smiled too much and meant too little. And Ethan. Ethan was terrifyingly good at this. His hand rested on her waist like it belonged there. Not stiff, not hesitant. Natural. That was the problem. Relax, he murmured near her ear. His breath brushed her skin, warm, controlled. You're tense. You're holding me like I'm about to run, she whispered back. You usually do. I don't. His fingers pressed slightly, anchoring her. Yes, he said softly, you do. Her heart skipped. Because he wasn't wrong. Smile, he added. I am smiling. You look like you're planning a murder. I might be. That's not reassuring. It's not meant to be. For a split second, his lips curved. Not the CEO smile. Not the polite one. The real one. And it hit her harder than anything else that night. They moved through the crowd like a perfectly rehearsed illusion. Introductions. Laughter. Subtle touches that felt anything but subtle. At one point, someone asked, How did you two meet? Ava froze. Ethan didn't. We grew up together, he said smoothly. The words landed differently than she expected. Not distant. Not dismissive. Careful. Chosen. That explains the chemistry, the woman laughed. Ava almost choked. Chemistry. If by chemistry she meant emotional chaos and unresolved history, then yes. Plenty. Later, on the balcony. She finally pulled away. I need air. Ethan followed. Of course he did. You're doing well, he said. The praise caught her off guard. You sound surprised. I am. That's rude. That's honest. Silence settled between them, softer than before. The city stretched below, glowing. For a moment. They weren't pretending. We used to watch the rain like this, she said quietly. Ethan's gaze shifted. I remember. Of course he did. He remembered everything. And somehow, that made it worse. Chapter 6, the line we pretend exists. The problem with fake relationships is that the world treats them as real. And eventually, so do the people inside them. Ava realized that on a Tuesday. Which was unfair. Because Tuesdays were supposed to be boring. Instead, they were not. Lunch, a voice asked. Ava looked up to see Daniel, marketing, charming, harmless. Safe. Sure, she said. She needed safe. Needed normal. Needed something that was Ethan. They barely made it 5 minutes. Busy. The word cut through the moment like glass. Ava didn't even need to turn around. She knew that voice. I'm not. You are. Now she turned. Ethan stood there, expression unreadable. But his eyes. Sharp. Focused. On her. On Daniel. On the space between them. This is work-related, Ava asked coolly. Yes. It can wait. No, it can't. A pause. Tension snapped tight. Daniel cleared his throat. I can, come back later. Good idea, Ethan said without looking at him. And just like that, he was gone. Coward. Was that necessary? Ava demanded. Yes. No, it was. Ethan stepped closer. Too close. It is if you're playing a role. Her chest tightened. I'm allowed to have a life outside of your fake relationship. His jaw clenched. Are you? Oh. That tone. That dangerous, quiet edge. You don't own me, she said. Silence. Then. I do. The words weren't loud. But they hit like they were. And suddenly, this wasn't professional anymore. Chapter 7, the almost that changes everything. It was late. Too late. The office was empty, quiet in that way that made everything feel more intense. More real. Ava should have left hours ago. Instead, she stayed. Mistake. You're still here. She didn't look up. You're still annoying. Consistent, at least. Footsteps. Closer. Closer. Then. Too close. Her breath caught before she could stop it. Move, she said. You're in my office. Then stop standing so near. I'm not the one distracted. I'm not distracted. You're tapping your pen. She froze. Slowly. Set it down. That proves nothing. It proves everything. Silence stretched. Heavy. Charged. You've changed, she said quietly. You've said that before. And you ignored it before. And you're still here. That wasn't fair. That wasn't true. Or maybe it was. Why me? She asked suddenly. His gaze sharpened. You could have chosen anyone. I didn't want anyone. The words slipped out. Unfiltered. honest. And suddenly, the air shifted. "You wanted me?" she asked, softer now. Dangerous question. Dangerous answer. Ethan stepped closer. No hesitation this time. No distance left between them. "I always did." Her heart stopped. Restarted. Too fast. "That's not funny. I'm not joking." He was. That was the problem. "Say it," he said quietly. "Say what?" "That you don't feel anything." Her throat went dry. Because she couldn't. Because it would be a lie. And he would know. He always knew. "I." His hand lifted. Slow. Careful. Like she might disappear. His fingers brushed her cheek. Warm. Gentle. Not the CEO. Not the controlled version of him. Just Ethan. The boy who used to sit beside her in the rain. "Say it," he whispered. She didn't. Couldn't. And that was all the answer he needed. His gaze dropped. To her lips. Time slowed. Everything narrowed. Just this. Just them. Just. The door clicked open. "Sir, They jumped apart. Too fast. Too obvious. The moment shattered. Gone. But the feeling stayed. Lingering. Dangerous. Unavoidable. And now, there was no pretending anymore. Chapter 8, The Truth He Never Gave Me. Ava didn't mean to find out. That was the worst part. Because if she had asked, really asked, maybe things would have been different. But Ethan had never been someone who gave answers easily. And Ava had never been someone patient enough to wait. It started with a file. One she wasn't supposed to see. Old financial records, archived documents. Buried deep enough that only someone stubborn or emotional would go digging. Ava was both. At first, she didn't understand what she was looking at. Hospital payments. Large ones. Repeated. Dates that aligned too perfectly with the year Ethan disappeared. Her stomach tightened. No way. She scrolled faster. Medical reports. Critical condition. Terminal. Her breath caught. The name. Vale Richard. Ethan's father. The memory hit her like a punch. The day he left. The way he wouldn't meet her eyes. The way he said, "I don't have a choice." And suddenly, it made sense. All of it. The silence. The distance. The boy who became someone else overnight. She didn't think. Didn't plan. Didn't breathe properly. She just moved. His office door slammed open. Ethan looked up immediately. Annoyance flashed, then vanished. Because he saw her face. What happened? Her hands trembled as she threw the file onto his desk. "You left because of this." Silence. Not confusion. Not denial. Recognition. Slow. Heavy. "I wasn't supposed to find out like this," she said, voice breaking. "You weren't supposed to find out at all." That hurt more than anything. "Why?" The word came out sharper than she intended. "Why didn't you tell me?" His jaw tightened. "Because it didn't concern you." Ava let out a disbelieving laugh. "It didn't," she stopped, breath shaking. "I was your best friend, Ethan. And you were 10. The words cut. Clean. Cruel. "I would have stayed," she said. That was the truth. Simple. Uncomplicated. "I know." His voice was quieter now. And somehow, that made it worse. "Then why didn't you let me?" she demanded. "Because I didn't want you to see me weak. Because I didn't want you to hurt. Because losing you too would have destroyed me." But what he said was, I didn't need you to. Ava flinched, and he saw it. Regret flickered. Too late. You don't get to decide that, she whispered. You don't get to leave, and then come back like nothing happened. I never said nothing happened. Then say something. Silence. Heavy. Crushing. Because he couldn't. And she couldn't stay. She turned. Walked out. And for the first time, Ethan didn't stop her. Chapter 9. Jealousy is a dangerous thing. They avoided each other. For exactly 2 days. Which, in Ava's opinion, was impressive. Until it was. You should go out with him. Ava blinked. What? Her best friend Mia leaned against the counter, arms crossed. Daniel, marketing guy, cute, normal, not emotionally constipated. Ava choked on her coffee. I am not. You are absolutely going to. No, I'm not. Yes, you are. No. Yes. Fine. Dinner was supposed to be easy. That was the whole point. Daniel was easy. Kind. Safe. Predictable. Everything Ethan was. Which is why. It should have worked. So, Daniel said, smiling. No interruptions this time, I hope. Ava forced a laugh. Yes, no. Busy. She froze. Of course. Of course he was here. Ethan stood at the edge of the table, expression calm. Too calm. I need to speak with you. No. Daniel blinked. I'm sorry. She's busy, Daniel added carefully. Ethan's gaze shifted to him. Measured. Cold. Not anymore. Ava stood. That's enough. Ethan didn't move. Didn't look away. Outside. Now. Yes. Something in his voice. Not loud. Not aggressive. But final. Ava exhaled sharply. Give me a second, she told Daniel. And then. She followed Ethan out. What is wrong with you? She demanded the moment the door shut. You tell me. No, you don't get to do this. Do what? Interrupt my life whenever you feel like it. His control slipped. Just a little. Your life, he repeated. Yes, my life. With him. That's none of your business. Silence. Then. It is if you're still my girlfriend. Oh. Oh, that. That's fake, she snapped. Is it? His voice dropped. Dangerously quiet. You seemed very convincing in there. Her heart pounded. Stop it. Stop what? Acting like you care. That did it. His composure cracked. Maybe I do. The words hit harder than anything else. Then you should have acted like it 10 years ago. Silence. And there it was. The real wound. Still open. Still bleeding. I didn't want to hurt you, he said. You did anyway. Chapter 10. The kiss that was never fake. The rain started again. Of course it did. Because apparently, their lives were a dramatic cliché. You always do this, Ava said softly. Ethan frowned. Do what? Show up when it's too late. That landed. I'm here now. That's not the same. No, he admitted, it's not. The honesty surprised her. It always did. Because he gave it so rarely. And what, she asked, you expect everything to just fix itself? No. Then what do you want? Silence. Then. You. Her breath caught. You don't get to say that like it's simple. It's not simple. Then stop acting like it is. He stepped closer. Rain soaked through both of them. Cold. Sharp. Real. Say it, he said quietly. Say you don't feel anything. Not this again. Not this. I can't. The word slipped out. Honest. Raw. Dangerous. Something in his expression broke. And then, he closed the distance. The kiss wasn't gentle. It wasn't careful. It wasn't controlled. It was everything they hadn't said. Everything they had buried. Everything that had waited 10 years to happen. His hand found her face, steady but firm. Like he was grounding himself. Like she was real. Ava's fingers curled into his shirt, pulling him closer. Because distance was no longer an option. The world disappeared. Rain. City. Time. All gone. Just this. Just them. Just. Too much. Too real. When they pulled apart, neither of them spoke. Because what was there to say? The line was gone. Burned. Destroyed. Irreversible. You still think this is fake? He asked quietly. Ava's heart pounded. No. And that was the problem. Chapter 11, When Love Isn't Enough. The kiss changed everything. That was the problem. Because once something becomes real, you can't pretend it isn't anymore. The next morning, Ava woke up with the memory still burning on her lips. And the weight of reality pressing harder than ever. This wasn't childhood anymore. This wasn't a promise made under a tree. This was messy. Complicated. Painful. And Ethan. Ethan was still someone who left. She avoided him. Again. But this time, it wasn't anger. It was fear. Because loving him felt like standing too close to the edge of something that had already broken her once. Ethan didn't chase her immediately, which somehow hurt more. Until he did. You're avoiding me. Ava didn't look up from her desk. I'm working. You've rewritten the same sentence 5 times. It's a very important sentence. Ava. Her name, quiet, firm, familiar. She hated that it still affected her. What? She snapped, finally looking up. And immediately. Regretted it. Because he looked different. Not composed. Not controlled. Just tired. Real. We need to talk. No, we don't. Yes, we do. No, we really don't. A pause. Then. You kiss me back. Her breath hitched. That didn't mean. Don't, he said quietly. The word wasn't harsh. It was worse. It was honest. Don't pretend it didn't mean anything. Silence stretched between them. Heavy. Fragile. And then. Ava stood. I can't do this. His expression tightened. Do what? This, she said, gesturing between them. Whatever this is. It's not complicated. She laughed. Of course it is. It's you. That landed. Good. Then let me make it simple, he said. Her chest tightened. I don't run anymore. Her heart betrayed her. For a second, she wanted to believe him. But wanting wasn't enough. You already did, she said softly. And that was the truth he couldn't undo. Chapter 12, The Ending We Choose. The final gala came too soon. Too polished. Too public. And everything between them. Too broken. Ava stood beside Ethan like nothing had changed. Like the tension wasn't suffocating. Like her heart wasn't betraying her with every glance. Smile, he murmured. I am smiling. You look like you're about to disappear. Close enough. That wasn't part of the act. When the announcement came, it was unexpected. Even for her. I'd like to thank Miss Ava Lynn, Ethan said into the microphone, voice calm, composed. Professional. Too professional. For her cooperation. Ava's stomach dropped. Cooperation. Like she was a project, a task, something temporary, something finished. And as of tonight, he continued, our arrangement has concluded. There it was. Clean. Final. Public. Irreversible. Applause filled the room. Ava smiled. Of course she did. Because that's what she did best. Pretend everything was fine. She didn't look at him again. Not when she stepped down. Not when she walked out. Not when her chest felt like it was collapsing in on itself. Chapter 13. The night he finally stayed. The knock came late. Too late. Ava almost didn't open the door. Almost. But something in her still hoped. That was her weakness. Always had been. When she opened it, Ethan stood there. No suit jacket. No polished expression. No distance. Just him. And for the first time, he looked unsure. I shouldn't be here, he said. Then why are you? Because leaving you again would be worse. Her chest tightened. You already did that. I know. He didn't argue. Didn't defend himself. Just stood there. I thought ending it would make things easier for you, he continued. It didn't. I know. Silence. Then, I don't know how to do this, he admitted. That surprised her. Because Ethan always knew what to do. I don't know how to stay, he said quietly. And that broke something in her. Because it was honest. Painfully honest. You hurt me, she said. I know. I trusted you. I know. You left me. His voice dropped. I won't again. She searched his face. For doubt. For hesitation. For the boy who once walked away. But this time, he didn't look like he was leaving. He looked like he was choosing to stay. Say it, he said softly. Her breath caught. Say you don't feel anything. That question again. That impossible question. But this time, she didn't hesitate. I do, she whispered. The words felt like stepping off a cliff. And trusting something would catch her. Ethan stepped forward. Slow. Careful. Like this moment mattered. Like she mattered. His hand found hers. Warm. Familiar. Steady. I don't want fake, he said. Then don't make it fake. I won't. A pause. Then, if I mess this up, you will. His lips twitched. Then stay anyway. Her heart softened. Just enough. Okay. And when he kissed her this time, it wasn't desperate. It wasn't breaking. It was certain. Chapter 14. The promise that was never a joke. Love didn't fix everything. That wasn't how this worked. They still argued. Still clashed. Still carried the weight of everything they had been. And everything they almost lost. But now, they stayed. Stop stealing my food, Ava said, glaring at him. I'm not stealing, Ethan replied calmly. I'm redistributing. That's not how that works. It is if I'm the CEO. You're not the CEO of my lunch. Debatable. She threw a napkin at him. He caught it. Smirked. And just like that, they were 10 again. And not. Sometimes when it rained. They sat by the window. Quiet. Comfortable. Real. Do you remember what you said? Ethan asked one evening. Ava glanced at him. I said a lot of things. You said we'd get married. She snorted. We were kids. I wasn't joking. Her heart skipped. Of course he was. He never was. Then what are you saying now? She asked softly. Ethan looked at her. Not as a CEO. Not as someone distant. but as the boy who knew all her worst secrets. And stayed anyway. "I'm saying," he said quietly, "I'm still here." And this time, he didn't leave. The end. This was brought to you by Romance Hobbit. If this story moved you, subscribe. A new video is already waiting for you.